Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets for the PS1 was developed by Argonaut Games.
Harry had no idea where he was.
Was developed by Argonaut Games, creators of... And of course...
Go home to your mother, Potter. Oh, sorry, you don't have one.
Released by EA Games in 2002, the second Harry Potter game on PS1 is very similar in control, appearance and style to the Philosopher's Stone on PS1, but dare I say it, a vastly better game? Gone are the doors that lock behind you the second you walk into a new room. Gone is that weird sloth brain thing that we had to collect for some reason. Gone are the fucking awful minecart coin collecting and chase the peacock to rip a feather out of its behind minigames that still haunt me to this day in my nightmares. The beginning of the game already feels like a fresh start, literally. We arrive at the burrow, the sky a deep blue, the plants lush, and the house giving off a warm yellow glow, like it's kind of giving a wheat field with cypresses by Van Gogh. We have beautiful music in the background, and Harry and Ron's lovely dulcet tones.
Press the X button to cast.
Okay, yeah, everyone still looks absolutely fugly in this game, but the game starts with a cute little tutorial on how to cast Flipendo. What are you smiling at? And jump up some tool blocks, which, despite my 29 years on Earth, I was incapable of doing. We absolutely did not make that jump again. The controls in this game are essentially the same as in the Philosopher's Stone, that is to say, completely unrealistic. Harry still leaps up like a spring-loaded Olympian. I was recently just playing Croc 2, also by Argonaut Games. By the way, Croc 1 just been remastered. Go and support Argonaut Games, love them. And Croc 2 came out quite a few years before this, and honestly, the controls are still not great in that game, but they do seem to be somewhat better than here. I don't know. The window into the burrow leads us to the first of many, many mini-games. That's right, baby. Chamber of Secrets PS1 is basically a glorified minigame collection. Okay, that's not quite true, but there are a fair amount more minigames here, ranging from decent, like this initial one, catching clanging pipes being projected at us by a banshee, to challenging, like hitting objects flying through the air with suboptimal PS1 first-person controls, to honestly kinda broken due to the input lag, like gnome throwing. Honestly, it's such a shame that the gnome throwing sucks. Like, surely when I press triangle you should release the gnome like it fucking says on the screen. However, that does make eventually hitting objects extremely satisfying. Yes! Hello? In the back garden, Fred and George introduce us to the most substantial of minigames, dueling. Dueling here is actually fun and challenging, unlike another game's version of dueling. The arena is split into two halves, where you get free reign to strafe around your section to avoid attacks, firing simple flipendos to charged up flipendos to take varying amounts of health away. Stamina away from your opponent. If you or they accidentally hit a magic sparkling obstacle on each other's side of the pitch, then a special pickup is dropped, giving one a special attack. After meeting a kind of fashionable boho style looking Ginny, like she's kind of giving Pink Pantheress, if you know what I mean. Like she's even got the little handbag. Sorry, is that a very Gen Z reference there? My apologies. I'm actually borderline Gen Z millennial, but traipsing through the Weasleys' apparently vast acres of ancient woodland and defeating a magical carnivorous washing machine, Harry decides to use some sparkly magic powder the two older boys from school gave him, and he finds himself absolutely tripping balls as his brain melts and descends down this psychotic slide filled with stars, galaxies, beans, and the persistent threat of falling off over the edge into the endless abyss below. Just when you think the game couldn't possibly get any trippier, it decides to freeze on this green-tinged moment. Oh shit, has the game crashed? No, it's just the devs messing with you as it pulls back into a storybook moment. Really, this is the scene they decided to immortalize in the storybook? Speaking of which, in a move that is a distinct downgrade in quality from the first game, the lovely charming illustrations are replaced with pre-rendered CGI images using models from the PS2 version of the game. Girl, so confusing, but does lead to some absolutely terrifyingly hilarious images. Look at this outfit, it's got like flares.
Harry
God, even Harry looks disgusted there. Skipping over Diagon Alley, because for some reason in the PS1 games we only visit Diagon Alley halfway through the game when Hagrid decides he needs a pub trip. Harry and Ron steal the flying Ford Anglia, trademark Ford Motor Company, in what I would describe as an actually fun version of the Gringotts minecart ride, where you have the same levels of unpredictability and thrill, but while feeling somewhat in control of the vehicle this time. After an okay Whomping Willow battle, we finally enter Hogwarts proper, and can I just say that the Hogwarts in this version of the game is actually stunning. I can't put my finger on it exactly, as the graphics are basically the same as in the previous game, but the building here just looks and feels so good. The sun gleaming through the windows, the paintings and murals covering every inch of wall, it's just absolutely fabulous. The dev team would have most certainly have had a lot more of the film's version of the castle to go off in this game, where the previous game was developed alongside the film's production, and as little footage or images as possible were released of the set until the film's actual release. This castle also has a lot of cute nods to architectural and design features of medieval castles and cathedrals, like these giant vaults, and artwork once again based on real-life pieces. This mural of a woman with a unicorn being my absolute favourite, thanks to Josh for finding the actual image. If you haven't done so already, I would highly recommend checking out my Art and Architecture of the Harry Potter video games little video. I say little video, it's actually like 45 minutes, but despite its somewhat rudimentary graphics, this game has some beautiful moments, from the introductory gleaming sunshine at the Burrow, to this late afternoon breezy sunset moment on the castle roof, to this full moon illuminated sneak around the grounds at night. Some of the skyboxes are just fantastic. This time around, music is abundant. This is in stark contrast to the previous game, where the music was sparse, and it gives this game a much richer feeling. Where the previous felt cold and spooky, this game is more intense and warm. Another added feature of this game is the ability to explore at will in your own time, rather than having to explore every nook and cranny you can in an area before going through a door into a new section and never being able to return. Looking at you, Philosopher Stone. You can also go back and redo many of the mini-games that you may have originally sucked at, can't relate, after having a bit of an explore around the castle interior, where secret rooms within secret rooms lie hidden behind bookshelves. It's time to go back outside and head to Herbology class, where we get a good look of the castle's exterior, and oh boy is the improvement clear to see. Hogwarts looks like a real massive castle here, much more in line with the film, whereas the first was definitely smaller, more simple and less wow. This one has impressive scale, and also, somewhat to its detriment, length. To get to Herbology, you have to slog all the way around the edge of the castle, and while there are some hidden secret areas, don't think I don't see you there, slightly off-coloured, different textured section of wall, it would have been a lot more visually interesting to have had Harry walking through bits of the castle to get to class, like courtyards, quads, lawns and corridors, like we get in some of the other games. In true HP PS1 fashion, to reach the classroom we have to battle through a timed obstacle course, and reaching the end by a certain time scores you the Herbology Race Cup. If you manage to get all the race trophies for each class, then you unlock something. I'm actually not sure because I am a liar. I never actually won the Herbology Race Cup because I'm too slow and shit. Fucking sue me. In the class proper, Professor Sprout, looking a bit like a sprout herself, teaches us the Incendio Duo in the usual follow the spell and press the right button minigame, under threat of being consumed by a teething venomous tentacular if you get even a single button wrong. A subsequent spell challenge gives us free roam of using Incendio Duo, which is basically just like a glorified Flipendo in my opinion. Where the last game had you doing this fun little button pressing at the right time task, this one just lets you press and, if you want to, hold to cast a more powerful Incendio, pretty much exactly the same as Flipendo. Unfortunately, I was absolutely shite at this section, and the slugs proceeded to eat most of the mandrakes anyway. Oopsie! Quidditch features in this game again, which is pretty similar to that in the first game with full 3D directional control. We do have a freakishly realistic looking Oliver Wood teaching Harry the basics again though. Also, not gonna lie, on on stream, the chat absolutely loved making Oliver Wood jokes. Maybe Oliver should work on that unibrow. After practice, Malfoy shows off his new swishy broom and calls Hermione a mudblood, J.K. Rowling's attempt at inserting the idea of racism and eugenics into the series, despite then falling into a bigotry whirlpool on Twitter and potentially doing a bit of Holocaust denial. Whoopsie! The mold must claim all. Ron's f***ed up wand causes him to start vomiting up slugs, and we have to chase him down in a Shrek swamp slippery slide towards Hagrid's hut. This section was honestly pure chaos, impossible to control, and a lot of fun though. Loved it. Next up, Lockhart's class, which is obviously fantastic purely because he's teaching it.
Perfection! Just like me.
Is a cute little distraction, even if Petrificus Totalis is incredibly event specific, and the pixies do sound like horrifying trapped wailing cats. Oh, now I feel sad. Actually, they're kind of annoying. This game also features some whole sections that are completely glossed over in both the film and also in other versions of the games. It's nearly Headless Nick's 3 billionth death day or whatever, and he invites us to a party. And this time, instead of being a weird orangey red stone-walled labyrinth, the dungeons are a fantasy-aligned purple and green drippy delight with some beautiful eerie lighting. Actually, this game to me feels a lot more cartoony in presentation. We have a lot of bold colours and fantasy-derived elements that don't shy away from being unrealistic. I think it works well, especially in these ridiculous sections where mouldy bread and blood-filled jelly are being thrown at you by mischievous Peeves. Winter Fools upon Hogwarts, and I have to say I am absolutely in love with Hogwarts at winter. It's just so beautiful and mesmerizing. Like, honestly, inject this into my veins. For me, this is perfectly epitomized when Hagrid drags us to Diagon Alley again. I'm just going to insert the clip here. Just watch. Oh, I'm actually kind of goosebumpy right now. Having returned with the Polyjuice Potion ingredients, or whatever the f it was we were in Diagon Alley for, Harry and Ron transform into Crabbe and Goyle, and I know they do use the same dumbed down lower pitched voice in the other games, but something about Harry and Ron's impressions of their Slytherin counterparts just really tickled my funny bone here.
Hermione, are you okay?
In another assault course on steroids, we chase some random Slytherin along a death trap of narrow ledges and flailing suits of armour towards the Slytherin common room. Like, I swear to God, these poor Slytherins face death every time they need a nap. Serves them right. Finding out that Malfoy obviously knows nothing, and battling a moaning Myrtle who honestly just wants to be left alone. No wonder she can't stop haunting us in HP 5. Harry gets invited to an individual lesson with Lockhart. Yes, that is as creepy as it sounds.
I have something very special planned.
And he invites us yet again the next day for Valentine's Day. Like, no offence, but it's giving nonce.
Happy Valentine's Day, Harry!
Fuck's sake. Valentine's Day arrives in a scene that I think perfectly exemplifies the absolutely insane, absurd, and off-the-wall humour the devs were feeling when they made the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, you, Harry Potter, stay there. I've got a musical message to deliver to you.
Valentine's cards. Ugh! Keep away from me!
Seriously though, this game is really funny.
His eyes are as green as a fresh pickled toad. His hair is as dark as a blackboard.
The first one had its moments, but this one is genuinely hilarious at times.
Harry, wait! What? Speak up, Hermione!
Watch my expensive wand as it moves and press the symbols it points to. Oh, oh, oh!
There's a Slytherin now! Quick! Follow him and don't lose sight of him!
No early Harry Potter game would be complete without a sneak mission, and luckily this game's one is actually stunning. Music, the lighting, the setting, all of it is fantastic. For me, it matches the kind of same sections from the PS2 version. There's just something about Hogwarts at night that is fantastic. Like, give me a hit of this too. Obviously, we learn Hagrid isn't the heir of Slytherin, but proceed into the Forbidden Forest anyway because... Spider warning for anyone that hates spiders, but baby, we're following those damn spiders. This whole section basically involves killing spiders, destroying their webs, trying to take down the big boss spider overlord, typical Friday night activities. Aragog, gagging at the lace fronts. The Forbidden Forest section also includes these pretty crappy avoid the troll sneak sections that don't really work because where are their lines of sight? Why don't they have walking patterns that don't overlap with each other? And why are they so damn ugly? Armed with the knowledge that Malfoy isn't the heir of Slytherin, Hagrid isn't the heir of Slytherin, Aragog isn't the heir of Slytherin. Look at those teeth. Root canal, both of them. Lockhart obviously doesn't give a single flying fuck about the deranged ramblings of Harry, but proceeds to head over to the girls' bathroom with Harry and Ron anyway. What's that? 3 men in a human female space? Funny thing for someone like you to write. Just kidding, Rowling. Checkmate, Joanne. Harry pretends he can speak Snake again because, you know, he's the fucking heir of Slytherin, obviously. Very blue, this bathroom, it's nice. And opens a portal to hell, literally because I was having a hellish time trying to get down this stupid fucking slide. Why on earth would I want to slide faster? This was honestly the most difficult part of the whole game. I just kept fucking sliding off. I just think about all those poor kids who just had to give up here because it was so tough. Finally reaching the chamber, Lockhart reveals that he is actually the heir of Slytherin, and after a short battle, Harry murders Lockhart and traps both him and Ron underneath a mountain of rubble. The subsequent chamber section is fine. Honestly, not really anything of particular note or interest here. Kinda anticlimactic after the rest of the game, although fighting knights is always stressful, scary fun. Reaching the final chamber, which I have to say looks really amazing, very much like the film and those in the other games, Harry finds Ginny's corpse. Oh, she's dead, leave her. And a queer-coded, actually, no, I would say an explicitly gay.
I'm afraid Ginny told me all about you, Harry.
Tom Riddle rants on with a whole extended monologue. Like, give a gay a mic and they won't shut up until your ears are bleeding, I swear to God. The basilisk slithers out of a giant Salazar Slytherin, not an innuendo, and I have to say, the glowing red eyes go so nicely with the pale blue and green scales and gorgeous beige and green background. Gorgeous! What follows is a classic PS1 multi-part battle. Initially, we have to flipendo the snake when its mouth is wide open, at risk of being splattered with venom. Can't we just let her die? Like, honestly, it'd be easier. Followed by deflecting a powerful beam of green venomous energy with the sword of Godric Gryffindor. Like, okay, sci-fi, let's go. Literally is giving Star Wars. Even the music is Star Wars. Take that, knobhead. Finally murdering the basilisk, Harry grabs the pointy snake tooth and stabs Tom Riddle right in the Horcrux, reducing him to nothing but a fabulous cloud of green glitter. The final parts of the story are presented in ever more terrifying CGI storybook panels.
Later,
Oh god, can we not with this CGI? Oh, I can't look, it's actually horrible. Sorry. Is it gone?
And as for Harry,
All in all, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on PS1 is a great little game. It's basically giving Philosopher's Stone on PS1, but if we actually had enough time to make it into a polished game, the devs also would have been able to use proper visual references from the films this time. Therefore, we get a castle that actually looks like Hogwarts. Obviously, it's far from perfect. The controls are still the usual Olympian, long and high jumping Harry. The characters are still the ugly medieval guys they've always been. The warping visuals still send me into a nausea-induced spiral every time I boot up the game. Somehow they turned the storybook sections from charming, quaint, hand-drawn illustrations to terrifying CGI monstrosities, but luckily most of us were born with eyelids, so we can at least prevent ourselves from seeing them if you act fast enough. I don't like it. The pros vastly outnumber the flaws, however. The fact you can go back through the castle in your own time instead of being prevented from returning through doors like in the first game is a godsend. Colin's photo album letting you go back to redo certain missions or minigames is also a fantastic addition, and while the minigames themselves range from difficult and broken to fun and challenging, I personally never felt like they were annoying, and they were far apart enough to not feel overly repetitive. Like, if I had never read the books or watched the film, would I have had any idea of what the f*** was going on in this story? Absolutely fucking not. But would I have had a hilarious, beautiful time trying to piece it all together? Abso-fucking-lutely.
I wish he was mine, he's really divine. The hero who conquered the Dark Lord.
It was Professor Snape.
Slay.
Harry's least
Professor
favourite.
Slay.
Harry told them everything.
He's gay.
He told them about hearing the...
This music is genuinely, I think, my favourite piece of music ever. I struggle to think of anything that I like more. I think the actual name for it as well. EA released a compilation, I guess, music from the Harry Potter game series called Magical Adventures. It's called Trains Leaving. It's called Trains Leaving. That is such a good name for this piece. That, for me, just, like, summarizes, like, I don't know, everything I feel about... Oh, it's just so good, it's just so good.